Hi, everybody. Welcome to One Degree's quarterly impact call. Thank you so much for joining us live today on YouTube. I'm Rey Faustino, the CEO and founder of One Degree. And today, during our quarterly impact call, we're going to give you an honest look into One Degree's results over the last quarter. And One Degree's fiscal year started on July 1st, so we're actually talking about Q2, which started on October 1st. The purpose of today's call is to give you an open dialogue with One Degree. So you, our friends, funders, prospective funders, supporters, board and advisors of the organization. And we want you to hold us accountable for what we say we're going to do. So we're going to get an honest look at what's underneath the hood at One Degree. We encourage lots of question asking, so please feel free to write a question right here on the right side in the YouTube chat box if you're joining us live. And you can also tweet a question with the hashtag One Degree Impact. Again, this is Twitter, and hashtag your question with hashtag One Degree Impact. All right. Joining me today, I'm just going to flip over here. Joining me today are my colleagues, Eric Lukoff. Here we go. Eric Lukoff, who is the Chief Technology Officer, and Jody Medeiros, who is our Development Director. Say hi.
Thanks for joining us.
Cool. All right, so I just wanted to give you a quick overview for the folks who are brand new to One Degree. Our mission is to empower people to create a path out of poverty for themselves and their communities. We're currently serving the entire Bay Area. I'll talk about our Bay Area expansion a little bit, but we're serving now the entire 9-county Bay Area. And since inception, we've reached over 188,000 people, and these people have used One Degree, the One Degree platform. These are unique users since the beginning, but ultimate impact for us means that families are breaking the cycle of poverty. And this cumulative reach metric is just one of our leading indicators, and we're working our way to really being able to measure that ultimate impact metric. At One Degree, we believe that poverty does not have to be a life sentence, and that the thousands of resources that are already available in the communities out there should be easily accessible to families in need. And as you know, this is very much a trying time in our nation's history, and One Degree is committed to serving all people in need, especially vulnerable people in our community, including immigrants, undocumented immigrants, refugees, and the many others who are in need of services. This is our very first quarterly impact call for 2017. And today I'll go through some updates for the organization, metrics, success stories, and challenges from the last quarter. And we'll end it off with a question and answer session from you. Hopefully you send us lots of questions. But next up, I want to invite Jody, who's going to talk about one of our members.
Thanks, Ray. And thanks to all of you for joining this afternoon. I'd like to share a story about an inspiring One Degree member named Geronimo. He immigrated as an unaccompanied minor to San Francisco from Mexico 2.5 years ago. Now a senior at San Francisco International High School, Geronimo balances school, applying to college, his part-time pizza job, and his community support activities that he enjoys very much. Living in one of the most expensive cities in the United States, he's grateful for all the support he got when he first arrived here. To give back, he tutors newly arrived students at his school and has really become the go-to guy for immigrant resources. Recently, we met Geronimo at a One Degree training at the International School, and just recently he shared a story with us of his experience. A friend moved here from Mexico and needed a job. Geronimo pulled his phone out and made a quick search on One Degree, and within a week, Manuel had a job. And as you see there, Geronimo told us, "I couldn't believe it. Even though I was very busy dealing with finals at school and scholarship interviews, being able to use One Degree on my phone made all the difference." And we just love this because this is one of so many success stories that we hear from our members.
Thank you so much, Jody. This is wonderful because this is the reason why we do this work is for people in our communities like Geronimo. So thanks for sharing that. All right, moving on to organizational updates. So we have some pretty big updates from the last quarter. This year, we're celebrating our 5th year of serving our community. It's hard, I can't even believe that it's been 5 years since we started One Degree as a pilot here in San Francisco. So we are going to be doing some celebrating. So look out for some announcements about that in the upcoming year and some upcoming plans about what the next 5 years of One Degree holds for us. Secondly, we announced our full Bay Area expansion throughout all 9 counties of the Bay. This is something that we set out to do about 2 years ago when we started just in San Francisco and then slowly moved into Alameda County. But now, whether you live in San Jose, Gilroy, which is in the South Bay, or Marin City, or Vacaville, which is in the North Bay, you can find resources on the One Degree platform. To give you an idea of our new regions in the North Bay, which comprises of 4 counties, there are over 225,000 low-income people. And in Solano County, which is one of the North Bay counties, home to Vallejo, Fairfield, and Vacaville, 1 in 4 people can't meet their basic needs. So you can see there's a huge need throughout the entire Bay Area, not just in San Francisco, Oakland, and the peninsula, but it's spread out throughout the entire Bay. And the third update we wanted to share with you is an exciting new product launch. And here to tell you about that is Eric Lukoff, our CTO.
Great, thanks, Ray. Hi, everyone. I'm Eric Lukoff. I'm our Chief Technology Officer here at One Degree, and I lead our product development efforts. So I want to tell you about One Degree Referrals. We heard from many of our nonprofit professional members over the past 5 years that they really wanted an easier way to integrate One Degree into their work. So over the past 6 months, we've been talking to case managers and social workers from different levels of client need and tech savvy. And we ultimately came up with what I'll quickly show you today, which we're calling One Degree Referrals. So here on the screen, you can see as a pro member, I have my client list in front of me. And then I can add as much or as little information as I want about my client. And so some social workers work with populations that don't have access to technology, that wouldn't use it if they had it. But we know from our own experience and from many others we've talked to that an increasing number of low-income and at-risk populations we serve do have and use smartphones, tablets, and computers. And so we want to meet people where they are. The more client info a social worker adds, the more automatic follow-up and engagement we'll do with the client. And they'll be able to use One Degree directly. And I'll show you what that looks like. You also note that we have an English and Spanish selection here, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later. And then once I've added a client, I can start making a referral for them. So I started a referral for Roberto, and I'm trying to find him work clothes so he has what he needs for an upcoming job interview. And I can search for resources on One Degree as normal. And as I find appropriate resources for Roberto, I add them to his referral. And you can see that the referrals are showing up there on the left as I add them. It's sort of like a little shopping cart in the left-hand corner. And then after I've added all the resources I want, I just click done. And that's it. And then after I create the referral, I see it right back here on his client page. I can get back to the resources I recommended, and I'll have a record right here of it, what I've sent to Roberto. And if I've added Roberto's contact information, then he'll receive a notification of my referral. So he'll be able to access all of this information in his own One Degree account when he logs in. And I can also, at this step, download a printout of the resources for him if, on the other hand, if he's not particularly tech savvy or wouldn't use his One Degree account himself. I can just print out a piece of paper for him. And here we have a preview of what that looks like. So, and if you remember, I actually had set Roberto's account to Spanish, so you'll see that all this information is actually printed out in Spanish. So all I have to do is print it out and hand it to him, and it's already ready to go. And then conversely, if Roberto is particularly tech savvy and does use a smartphone or a computer, then he will receive a notification via email if we've provided an email, or a text message if we provided a cell phone for him. And so we actually send everything that Roberto needs in the email. We have a quick list of referrals here. Each of these are links back to the resources that he needs. Or if he's receiving text messages, then he'll get all of the information about those referrals in the messages themselves. And then finally, back on the client page, I can also keep track of what resources he's using. So I can actually keep track along with Roberto or whatever client I'm working with to keep it updated. So whether he's actually gone, whether it wasn't a right fit for him, or whatever the status is at the time. And of course, Roberto has a similar looking list, and he can keep track of it as well if he's savvy and wants to do so. And that was just a quick overview of 1 Degree Referrals, and I'd be happy to answer any questions during the Q&A at the end. So in the meantime, add them to the chat window, and we'll get to them a little later.
Thank you so much, Eric. We're really excited about 1 Degree Referrals because it'll enable families and the people who support them to close the loop on what resources they're using and what has an impact on those families. So we're excited about this. We're excited about the extra data that we're getting from folks and closing of the loop. All right, moving on now to Q2 metrics. We shared similar metrics last quarter as well. As you can see, we have 3 different metrics here. We have unique users, we have new registered accounts, and then total registered accounts in aggregate. And so you also see our Q2 goal and then the results from that. So let's starting with the unique users. We had a goal of about 26,000, and we ended the quarter with about 23,000, so about a 9% dip. New registered accounts had a little bit of a bigger dip. We had a goal of 996 registered accounts, and we ended the quarter with 570. And then total registered accounts were much closer, only a 1% difference. We had a goal of about 8,400, and we ended the quarter with about 8,300. So we're very much aware that last quarter's growth figures were slightly lower than the previous quarter, and that's partly by design. So we shifted our organizational resources to work on other things like partnership development, and specifically with our healthcare partners like Dignity Health, and with very limited staff. So we only have 1 person working full-time on growth and marketing, so we have very limited capacity to work on other things. And so when we focus on partnership development, we have to go full force on that. However, moving forward, we're going to be able to add additional capacity for growth and marketing. One of the first steps we're taking is hiring a full-time marketing associate to help us with more scalable marketing tactics. And we hope to see a huge increase from these in the next quarter once we bring that person on board. Now let's go on to successes and challenges. I'm going to start on the right-hand side with the challenges. As I mentioned, one of our recent challenges has been balancing growth with nonprofit partnership development, and that's why we are going to be adding capacity and building out that arm of the organization moving forward. And we have another challenge in that we've been hiring for some critical roles in product development in the organization, and that has taken us a little bit longer than anticipated. And I'm going to be talking a little bit more about hiring in a moment as well. On the left side with successes, you can see engagement, which is the first one. We're going to start releasing some metrics that help us really understand our user engagement on the platform. And last quarter in Q2, we observed that over 1,600 people indicated that they found over 4,000 relevant resources for them. And this metric is what we call our indicator of relevance. And it kicks in when people save resources, share them, add them to lists, and other activities like that. And so this helps us get closer to understanding whether or not people are actually one, finding the resources that they need, and 2, accessing those resources. Secondly, we have our Santa Clara County expansion. So last quarter, we announced our full expansion to Santa Clara County, and then in the coming weeks, we're going to be doing a outreach and marketing and a launch into Santa Clara County. The third, we just talked to you about the 1 Degree Referrals, which Eric did a walkthrough of. And last quarter, we actually piloted the referrals tool with 7 different organizations, and we're going to be doing a much broader rollout of the 1 Degree Referrals tools this quarter. And lastly, on the successes, we announced that we raised $1.7 million in 2016, and this initial funding has kicked off our 3-year $6 million fundraising campaign, which I'm going to talk to you about right now. So as I mentioned, 2 weeks ago, we announced this campaign, the 3-year, $6 million campaign to grow and scale 1 Degree nationwide. Since we demonstrated that our model has been working here in the Bay Area, we want to take the show on the road and scale the 1 Degree platform throughout the country. And in order to do that, we are raising $6 million over the next 3 years. And we project that by 2019, we'll have scaled 1 Degree to 5 major metro areas throughout the country. Because as you know, there's plenty of need throughout the country for a platform like 1 Degree. And part of how we're going to do that, and part of the aims of this campaign, is to build and invest in a high-performing team and an organization that can scale to meet the needs of a national organization. As you can see, we're about 28% of the way through our campaign, and we have $4.3 million to go to reach our $6 million goal. We are super excited to share that an amazing group of funders have taken the lead already to commit that initial $1.7 million for the campaign. And you can see them listed out here. We deeply share our appreciation and thanks to all of our lead funders. We cannot do this work without you. And for everyone else, we need your help to reach our $6 million goal. So thanks for that. Moving on to our next steps for this quarter and beyond. The first up, we're working with management consulting group McKinsey on a strategic planning process. They're going to be helping us clarify and develop our strategic plan for the next 5 years, which will include our growth and expansion plans. Thank you so much to Tipping Point, who coordinated this pro bono project with McKinsey. Secondly, we have our Los Angeles expansion. We've been working with LA County Department of Health Services and Dignity Health to expand the 1 Degree platform and service to LA County. Because of this big push into a new city, our resource database has increased to over 10,000 resources. And please look out for an official launch announcement expansion later this spring. And last but not least, I mentioned earlier, we are hiring for 3 full-time positions, a senior software engineer, a marketing associate, and a resource coordinator. And we're also hiring for a handful of part-time contracts as well. And you can see our link here, 1degree.org/join. So if you please feel free to share that. By June, we will have, in our projections, 12 full-time staff. So we're growing from 7 full-time staff to 12. So that's going to be a huge transition for our organization. Okay, now I would love to open it up for your questions. We have, again, Eric, Jody, and myself here who can answer your questions. Feel free to ask questions via the YouTube chat box on the right side or Twitter with the hashtag 1DegreeImpact. I'm going to stop sharing at the moment and bring you back over here. Okay, again, hashtag 1DegreeImpact. What questions do we have?
Right, it looks like we have a question about our work with McKinsey.
Yes.
What are you hoping to get out of this strategic plan?
Yeah, so first of all, we are super excited about working with McKinsey and Tipping Point on our strategic plan process. I think we have a lot of really great ideas and great kind of like headway as we've been working during the first phase of the organization to get this pilot up and running and then demonstrating that this model works here in the Bay Area. And now we need to take all those ideas and all those concepts and recommendations and with McKinsey's help, analyze the best path forward and develop a really strong, cohesive, and clear plan for us to move forward. We know that we don't want to underestimate the work that it's going to take to really build a strong and sustainable national organization. And so we want to make sure that we're ready and prepared and thinking about everything when it comes to that. So by the end of this engagement in the summer, we're going to have a full strategic plan developed that we can show you. What are the questions?
We have a question that is, how does One Degree do its outreach and marketing in far-reaching communities?
Great question. So how do we do outreach and marketing in far-reaching communities? So far, the furthest reaching community that we've had has been communities like San Mateo County, Contra Costa County, and soon the South Bay, so like San Jose and the North Bay. So we've technically been able to drive to these places if we need to, or take the BART or Caltrain to these locations. And so we've been experimenting with how to do that here remotely. So we've been doing things like webinars and sending out information and flyers. And we're also doing a new education program, like a Train the Trainers program, where we're training nonprofit professionals and healthcare professionals on how to use One Degree so that they can train their colleagues and also their clients. And so it's a much more scalable approach. And of course, we're also doing a lot of digital marketing. So for example, like Google Ads, we do a lot of content marketing, social media as well. And so we're gonna take the best of what we've been experimenting with here in the Bay Area and then use that as we are doing outreach and marketing in Los Angeles.
Great.
Next question.
Yeah, we have another one here. It's about our referrals, the new feature we have. And they say, I saw that you have a lot of sensitive client information in what you showed us. A lot of organizations don't share that client information. Is that required to use referrals?
Hi, I can answer that. No, the answer is no. There's no requirement to share client information. What you saw was all optional. The only thing you need to get started is a client's name, and it's up to the caseworker or case manager working with your clients to determine what is appropriate to share, and hopefully you're doing that with your client's permission. And it's not required, and still most of what you saw is still usable without adding any information, any private information about the person that you're helping.
Great.
Great.
Thank you. You can come back. I'm just kidding.
Are there any other questions?
Other questions? Remember, tweet your questions, hashtag One Degree Impact, or in the chat box. Any other questions?
I'm seeing another. Yeah, we have another question from the Wesley Foundation. What is the most common feedback you are hearing pro and con from CBOs and the individuals where you're deeply engaged? Like San Francisco. Great.
Eric, do you want to answer that?
Sure. Yeah. Well, one thing we have heard is that there wasn't a clear process to make referrals, so that was directly in response to a lot of CBO feedback we got. And another piece of feedback we get from individuals is around not having native mobile apps. So that's one thing that will be coming down the pike pretty soon in terms of our product development priorities, to make sure that we're meeting people where they're looking for us, which is often the App Store on their Android or iOS phones. So we definitely want to meet the need, and that's what people are asking for. So referrals was one piece of that, and we'll be stay tuned for more information about our apps that we'll be rolling out.
Thanks. We have a few more minutes here for more questions. Anything else?
I'm looking on Twitter. No questions more for Twitter. Do you want to show the hashtag?
Here we go. Hashtag One Degree Impact. Oh, Eric, you have a question?
We actually did get a question that says, can an organization see an aggregate report of all the referrals they make? We fund organizations and want to be able to see that information. Yeah, that's a great question. We definitely have aggregate reportable information about referrals that are made, so that on a funder level or at a systems level, those that are making referrals or on one level up can see how many referrals were made, whether or not they're being utilized, whether or not those clients are having a good experience, and then of course you can see the ratings and reviews on a more anecdotal level as well. So we definitely have those reports available, and we're looking forward to making those available to systems level folks.
Great. Maybe like one more question. Do we have time for one more?
Yep, there's 3 minutes left to our webinar. This is a tough one, Ray, but I think that you can handle it.
Oh no.
Somebody just asked, Ray, what keeps you up at night?
Why you gotta ask me questions? I went to bed at 3 a.m. last night. What keeps me up at night other than the current national climate? I mean, I guess that definitely keeps me up at night. But with regards to, you know, we're trying to figure out like how best to market and position One Degree so that we are serving as many people as possible, particularly as, you know, future potential crises might come along. And so, for example, last fall, we saw huge spikes in the search results for legal help for immigration. We saw spikes in the number of people who are searching for mental health services, and also the number of people searching in Spanish saw a huge spike last fall. And that's a direct, I think that's directly related to what's happening in our country right now. And so One Degree is always trying to think about like how best we can serve our community in the face of these challenges that are happening in our community, both here in the Bay Area, in California, and the country. So that keeps me up at night. How do we do that as an organization? And how do we keep fighting for our community? Okay, I think that we should start wrapping it up because it's almost 12:30. So I'm going to close it out here. Let me just pull up another slide. So as you can see, One Degree is on a strong path to grow our impact. We've been transitioning into this new phase of our organization for national scale and positioning ourselves for national scale. But we still need our community's help in getting there. So please share our open positions with your networks. Again, we have 3 full-time positions that are open at the moment. Share the URL onedegree.org/join far and wide. Secondly, you can fuel our fundraising campaign. And we definitely need the fuel to continue doing this work and fighting for our community. And if you have additional questions or want to get together in person, you can contact me at ray@onedegree.org. We're going to be sharing this YouTube link out to you, so feel free to share this link with your colleagues and friends, and we're going to send that to you later today. The next quarterly impact call is going to be in May 2017, so please stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for being on this journey with us and sharing your positivity with us. We can't do this work without you, and now more than ever, we need your support to do this work. So thank you again so much, and have a great rest of your day.